Hello, this is Autumn Hildebrand, and I am doing my presentation on a single leg squat, and we're specifically going to look at the discrepancy of a torso inward rotation. So the picture represents different compensations that you would typically see within a single leg squat. So the single leg squat is performed with one leg lifted and both hands on the hips. This assessment assesses dynamic flexibility, core strength, balance, and overall neuromuscular control on one leg. Compensations that are being looked at for is an inward knee movement, hip hike, hip drop, torso rotating inward, and torso rotating outward. Specifically with inward torso rotation in single leg squat, one overactive muscle is the tensor fasciae latae on the stance leg side, and an underactive muscle is the gluteus medius of the stance leg. Potential causes of this impairment that are observed during this transitional movement may be a result of alterations in available joint movement, muscle activation, and overall neuromuscular control. So this is this is how you perform the single leg squat.
Ladies, go for it, Bova.
I'm also very weak. You know that.
Your legs look small.
Yeah, it's because I lost my muscle. And I was like, what?
Ladies, go for it, Bova.
Awesome. And then this is an example of the inhibitory technique that I decided to use. So this is foam rolling of the TFL of the upper hip.
Of your thigh.
Basically, as you can see, that she has the foam roller underneath her tensor fasciae latae, and she's going to roll the foam roller up and down up by the upper part of her hip. So it's from the insertion to the origin of the tensor fasciae latae. I chose this specifically because the purpose is to reduce muscle activity in the overactive tensor fasciae latae to begin to create less muscle tension. And then the lengthening technique for the tensor fasciae latae to improve inward rotation is a static standing TFL stretch. So as you can see, this is how he's going to perform that static standing TFL stretch. So if you look at his positioning, he's going to start standing and come back onto an extended hip position by stepping your right foot backwards behind you, externally rotating his right hip forward approximately about 45 degrees. Actually, it's his left. But he's going to make sure that he doesn't rotate his entire pelvis, and he's keeping his pelvis square to the front. Next, he adducted his left hip by stepping that left foot back behind the other foot, again keeping his hips square as he drives his hips forward, creating that stretch in his TFL. Alright, and then my isolated stretch for the this is for the gluteus medius, is a hip abduction. So basically you're going to be laying on your side, and as you can see from the picture, they're just going to lift that top leg up, straight up into the air while maintaining an extended knee, and then lowering it back down to isolate the gluteus medius to improve that inward rotation throughout. And then the final one is dynamic movement. So I chose the monster walk because the monster walk not only works on that gluteus medius strengthening, but it also strengthens the gluteus maximus and the abductors and adductors throughout the leg. And this just allows to help integrate all of those movements together. And this is how it is performed. So as you can tell, he makes sure that throughout his movement, he's going to keep his make sure that his feet stay square on the ground and his knees are straight forward. Yep, and that is single leg squat. Thank you.